Greetings to teachers of the academies and pathways of the Oxnard Union High School District. This is a proposal to bring web mapping and instructional exercises to your academies, and this video has been requested by the College and Careers Pathways office in your district office. So this is an outline of the proposal, and hopefully you will find it very positive and useful for your programs. We are now in our third year of working with the Channel Islands High School Marine Sciences Academy and incorporating in their Marine Careers Career Technical Education course our web mapping mini course and also the use of GPS units. Now this mini course has concentrated on getting students to learn how to use ArcGIS Online to build story maps. And I've been working very closely on this with David Haynes as he has learned to use the technology in ArcGIS Online and has incorporated the use of ArcGIS Online into various other exercises within both his biology and the Marine Careers class. Recently at Waiini High School, seeing the work that we have been doing, that Julie Cole with the Yes Academy has agreed, and she is looking next year to bring in, to embed into her program the web mapping mini course. Even though David Haynes and I have demonstrated to a number of teachers across the district and also within his academy the benefits of using ArcGIS Online as a tool for analysis and critical thinking, the barrier of the time constraint of getting students to learn how to use ArcGIS Online has been a problem given the crowded content within existing courses. Also, there have been some limitations with using web maps and some complications for students who do not know how to use ArcGIS Online as just using it as a link, and also the story maps have had limitations. However, this has changed in recent months. In the 4 years that we have been using ArcGIS Online, this tool continues to evolve, becomes more powerful and useful in the classroom, and has continued to become more user-friendly, especially for K-12 students. And right now it is fairly friendly for beginning at 8th grade. Now, as far as for those students who do not know how to use the functions and are just using maps, the new story map templates provide increased interactivity, which increases the possibility as an instructional tool, and it does increase the possibility of providing analysis and visualizations for students in their learning. With the upgrades in the ArcGIS Online story maps bring increased interactivity, Mr. Haynes, as well as other teachers in our network, began to use these new templates to develop structured exercises to increase the analysis and critical thinking of students, with the idea that our network would use our expertise in this to build the story maps and work with teachers within the network in the schools to develop student questions specific to the content. And over the last semester, since the beginning of 2016, we have been field testing this idea in a number of products with upper elementary and middle school students, and let's take a look at what we have come up with. So what you see here is a screenshot of a story map that we had created. This is at the 6th grade level for social studies, and this is using one of the new templates as far as being able to be interactive. And I have circled in red there that you would click on there and you would be able to choose between a variety of base maps, which just letting you know there. But the key on this is the ability to turn layers on and off. And where I have circled in green is where you would click that will show the layers. And so let's take a look at some of the things that can be done with this new template. So when I click on the layers icon, I get a drop-down menu that shows all the layers that are contained within the story map. And to the left, those you can check on and off as the students would be instructed. Now I've circled in red there on the side arrows, and I want to show you another feature on using this as being able to encourage analysis and critical thinking. So when you click on that side arrow, it gives you a couple options. It shows there the default, it shows the legend, and then I've got circled in red as far as on the opacity, and let's click on the opacity and see what that does. So when you click on the opacity, then you get another drop down that has a slide bar, and the default is 100% opaque. And you can slide that down to 0. That makes that particular layer completely transparent, and you can vary this with different layers so that students may be able to compare things beyond just clicking on and off, as far as to be able to visualize the relationships between different layers. So this adds to the ability of students to analyze and develop critical thinking skills. So here in this screenshot, the students have been instructed to turn off all the layers with the exception of the territorial expansion. And the students are asked to look at the pattern during the time periods of how the Roman Empire expanded as far as directionality and time period. This slide, the students have been instructed to add the layer of the 10 largest cities within the Roman Empire. And also this is demonstrating, again, a feature in the interactivity of the story maps. Is the symbols that you place, data can be placed, and when you click on the symbols, that data can be seen and set of what type of things. So you can see the pop-up here, and you've got the data which is in the cities layer of the name of the city and the population. So with this question, the students are asked to identify the largest and the smallest cities of the 10 top cities in the Roman Empire. In this slide, the students have turned on the major battles layer, and we've got a pop-up as you click on the major battles. And again, this is a feature of interactivity that is also helpful to direct learning in direction, where you can put a link in your pop-up to another website. And as I have circled in red, it demonstrates that this particular pop-up links to the Wikipedia sites for each of these battles, and the students are asked questions about their perspective on the different battles as they go through and exploring them. So these slides show the interactivity of the story maps with this new template that can be used to develop analysis and critical thinking and further directed learning. Now that you have seen a sample of how story maps can be used as instruction, let's talk about how we envision implementation in the Oxnard Union High School District. As stated, that we're not looking for this to be a canned set of exercises. What we want to do is we want to work with you that the story maps that we create with you reflect what you want to do, what your priorities are, and to reflect your personality. So the first thing what we would be doing is we would be looking to identify the topics that you want to cover. Now the sample we showed covered 6th grade social studies, but as you probably can see that it's a tool. And you can leave it up to your imagination to the topics, the subjects, the industry sectors that these story maps can be created for you to utilize in an instructional tool. So it's a question of choosing a topic. Once a topic is chosen, then we'll work with you as to determine as far as what kind of layers of information you want to be placed in each of the story maps, and also to determine what, to the extent of the data that you want to have in there. We would look to see what kind of data that is already available in the ArcGIS Online Library, and also work to as far as what kind of data that we may need to create custom tables. And then what we would want to work, once we get that set, then how we're going to lay it, how we're going to divide it up, then determine the symbols that you want to use and what you think your students are going to best respond to. And then if you want links to websites to further in-depth exploration, then we can include those into the data tables. Once we have all that information completed, then we can start actually creating the story map, importing that data, and setting the symbols. And then we can work as far as the student questions that go along with that with the story maps. And then what we're going to want to do in the longer term as we create these story maps is to put them in into what we call a gallery, which is sort of like an index. And we can work on how we're going to sort those so that you would be able to go to one site and to click and select maps to the topics from the various teachers in the district, and to copy and paste the web address and to push it out to your students for these exercises. So now that you have seen our proposal, what are the next steps? Well, first of all, if you like what you see, you will want to bring this to your school site, your pathway or academy, is to contact the College and Career Pathways office in your district office and let them know on that. If you've got further questions, I'm easy to find. Go ahead, email me. My email address is listed here as Mark Epstein, MarcEpstein @hotmail.com. Or you might want to take a stab and give David Haynes a call at Channel Islands High School and talk to him about how he's used this technology in his classroom and how on this proposal, how easy it is used and the benefit it's going to be. So I look forward to working with you guys in the future. Thank you.